Welcome back, blade lovers. It's Nighthorse time again. That's right. The Nighthorse has revisited my studio. Here he is. A Dirk Pinkerton design, of course. And it comes right on the heels of a review of this guy, the little brother to the one that I'm going to show you. And by little, I don't mean size, I mean in materials. So this is the B'Yond EDC asymmetrical level of blade. And this is their mid-range, and I believe they have an upper range as well. Let's take a look at what we got. I was very impressed with the budget version, which was only a $30 knife. This one is a $150 knife from the folks out at, where are they? Smoky Mountain. Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Sorry, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, guys. It's early and my tongue isn't working. All right. This one, we have titanium. We have exactly the same knife, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. Everything is identical, from the milling on the handle to the blade. They're clones of each other, except for materials. And there we go. There is that beautiful Navalla blade, Spanish-inspired, horn-handled shaped blade. Carried by people throughout Europe, infamous in many cases because it was used in duels and to settle disputes. And it's well set up for that. Look at that bump of a belly on that blade. Protrudes out like a tanto, but without the pointy secondary point that the tanto, Americanized tanto, has. And a very piercy point. And I think the dimensions are going to be the same except for the handle on this one. We've got a little thinner handle because we don't have any add-on scale material. So it's going to come in a little thinner than the other one. And we'll try to do some comparisons with measurements, although I pretty much gave you everything on the budget version in that review. So if you missed it, check that review. Let's take a look at the blade. We've got the stamped Nighthorse on there for the model. We've got Dirk Pinkerton's moniker. We've got the B'Yond EDC Asymmetrical logo. We've got S35VN. And we've got a model number which is one number above the budget model. So this is the NH for Nighthorse 004. The budget model is the 003. And these are an exclusive currently at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. You can get this one in two other anodized colors. So a quick comparison here. We still will do measurements, but there they are side by side. That is the budget version on top, going for $30 and 14C28N Sandvik steel. And the $150 titanium model on the bottom. You may opt for the budget model. You can get 2, 3, 4 of them for the price of the more expensive one. All right? Get a bunch of them. Get a carton if they still have them. Looks like they're being very popular, so not sure how long they're going to last. Maybe by the time you see this 6 months from now, they won't have them, and maybe they've restocked. I'm not sure. So we've got a frame lock on this one. We've got a liner lock on this one. If you like the security and strength of frame locks, you may want to go with this one. Notice the milling on the handles, identical. Jimping, identical. That's Dirk's signature jimping. It kind of goes along the edge. So we've got it there. We've got it up here. And they both have pretty good jimping on the spine of the blade. I would say, let's see, identical. Yeah. It's maybe milled in a little sharper on the titanium model. I don't know how crazy we want to go with comparisons. And it looks like we've got thicker blade stock on the titanium one. If you can see that, we're going to measure it up. So I think this one was 2.9 millimeters. Let's see what we've got on this guy. I was right, 3.3 millimeters. And while we've got the calipers out, let's go to inches. So in inches, that's 0.13. The other was 0.11. And across here, we got 0.50. I think we were at like 0.56 on the budget model. So you're able to go thinner with titanium. If you like a thinner handle, it's right at a 1/2 inch. I can't imagine you'd want it much skinnier than that. Feels good in the hand. Again, we can hold it way back here. You can choke up. You've got a pommel if you need to use that. No provision for lanyard. Nope, not on either of them. I don't think this one has a pin. Nope. So no lanyard provision. It's a longer knife. Clips are very similar, except we've got a solid titanium clip on this one that's attached by 2 screws from the inside. And we'll get the weight and the length again in a moment. There's some pockets milled out. So they did some very nice lightening on that. I'm doing things in a little different order than I normally do, just to kind of follow my discussion here. But let's do a weight on this guy and see what we get. Yeah, 5.06. I think we were around 5.5 ounces on the budget model. So the budget model is heavier by about 1/2 ounce. So you got a light, strong knife, no lock rock, no blade play. It's just solid. And okay, so we got 5 ounces, and we've got a blade length of, same as the other one, it's going to be 4.5 if you go along the top spine, actually a little more than that, but if you go to that point of the handle here, we're going to call it 4.35 inches with a cutting edge of about the same. So blade length and handle setup exactly the same on these. Overall length should be 10 inches. Yep. So identical measurements on these two knives except for the girth of the handle and the thickness of the blade stock. A little thicker, heavier blade stock, S35VN versus Sandvik 14C28N. Now this Navaja, or Navaja, however you spell it or pronounce it, was inspired by older knives. And here is a knife that was inspired by older knives. This is the Wii, made by, or designed by, I should say, Alessandra DeSantis. And it is the Wii Roman. Okay, the Roman. Well, interesting that a lot of the Spanish influences came from the old Roman Empire. There's a lot of tie-in with Africa, the Moros, the Spanish, the various tribes that wandered those continents. We don't obviously have this classic Navaja-shaped blade on this one. We have more of what Alessandra copied of even older daggers and knives with this pointy sort of spear point on that one with just a little bit of a swedge at the top. This knife, by the way, is no longer in production if you're trying to find one. you're going to have to get it on the secondary market. Then we have another wee knife designed by Miguel Barbudo in the Spanish tradition. If you've ever seen his custom stuff, they all have this blade shape, or I'd say most of them do. And there's some beautiful, like large fixed blade knives that are in Damascus, and they're all hand forged. I mean, they're thousands of dollars. This one has a great stonewash finish on it. And again, you can see, move the Roman out of the way, you can see that tight similarity of the profiles of these two blades. Just a little more stretched on this one, and overall the Nighthorse is just about a ½ inch or so longer. Close to a 4-inch blade on this guy. Again, that's the blocow. It means stone wall or brick wall. And it's that strong. It's pretty darn strong. If we set this up against a Griptilian, we can see that it is a much larger, longer knife. There we go. And if we take a knife that normally is a pretty large standard, the Rat 1 from Ontario, we've got about 1.5 inches or so longer on the Nighthorse. So this is a big knife. Got more than enough left over. However, bigger here. See if we can back out a bit. So you can hold this in a point down, should you choose. Can't really cap it with your thumb. You'd have to get back here, but it would make a very long Pikal style setup, and you could square it up. You can see the size of the knife in my hand. I've got a good 2 inches left over at the end if I get way up here. And I can get way up here. I can actually put my thumb on the spine ahead of the jimping if I want to hold it square like that. Back a little bit here if I want to use the jimping, and that sets me up more in a cross palm sort of a grip. Beautiful milling, and we've got the micro milling going on here. I don't know if you can see it right up in these areas. These are finely micro milled. We've got Dirk's trademark jimping here on the corners here, and on the corners down here. A little bit of further milling on the clip. Clip's got just enough spring. Seems to slide in and out of the pocket. Not deep carry. It's going to be about a ½ inch or so out of the pocket, maybe a little more. But I do like the jimping on this even a little better than the budget version. But again, how many 30s can you fit into 100½? Well, you can fit almost 5, right? So big difference in price, but I just can't believe the price on the budget. Action on both is incredible drop shut. You can see that in play here as well. Look at that. Oh boy. Thumb studs only. You know I prefer thumb studs, although I've got hundreds of flipper knives. I know you'd like to see a flipper there, some of you guys, but I do like pulling the knife out of the pocket and having my thumb ready to open it. Less movements, even if you can do them smoothly and quickly. It's like bally song stuff, you know. Use the simple movements. It's closed, it isn't a knife, it's open, it's a knife, and then you can use it. That's the point. If you need to do tricks, do them, but just realize they may not be that practical. I do like thumb studs. You can middle finger flick it if you got to go fancy, but just straight ahead practical, bang. Whoop. But you do have to hold on to it afterwards. So there's a Nighthorse. Let's stack them both up. Budget version in the front and premium version in the back. Hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. I'll be back with you soon. Oh, I forgot. Once again, you're getting internal stop pins on both of these knives. I think I showed it on the budget version, and I'll make sure you can see it on the titanium version. It's like important to some people. So there you go. You can see those tracks, I believe, if I shine a light in there. There it is. So internal stop pins, which is kind of a neat feature and something you don't see on every knife, particularly on the budget versions. There you go. I'll sign out again. Be well. Take care. Have a good one.